Thank you. Very good, Camissa. Very good. All right. Do you need to give your number, Dinner?
No, I'm okay.
Okay.
My NMLS number is 147022. If you look it up on the consumer access on the NMLS website.
I just know if Autumn's listening, she's going to be saying the number.
The number.
Yeah.
Good morning, Autumn.
Good morning,
Good morning, Autumn.
Yeah.
We know you were listening.
It's so funny.
She's already texting us.
Yeah. All right, we're on to the 18th day of August. Today is Helium Discovery Day. You remember there's been a helium shortage. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. There's been there's been a lot of places that has ran out of helium, so they've showed like other alternatives of how to just use regular air and just turn the balloons around or whatever.
I might have to dig into that one now. You just raised the question. I don't know how helium is made or how it's arrived. I thought it was kind of a natural. I don't know.
Yeah, there's been a shortage. Yeah, for anybody like having birthday parties or anything, like a lot of places have been out of helium. All right, this is mail order catalog day. Oh my goodness. Missy, you're probably too young, but Dennis, come on. When that Sears
catalog, J.C. Penney catalog, Montgomery Ward.
No, I do.
Do you remember
got
them?
circles and stuff, and my papa would let me circle like 50 things, and I'd only get like 2.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, he had to figure out. You know,
Those things are about 3 inches deep, if I
Were
remember
those
right.
not? I mean, like when those came.
That was the thing when you was a kid.
Oh my goodness, best day
That
ever.
was like a puzzle.
I can.
I think my grandpa would give me a new one, even if like it was the same stuff, just to make me sit there and be quiet and circle things.
Yeah, and I remember going straight to the toys.
Yep.
Like I think I even knew exactly where they're at as soon as the book came. You know
Near the
what I mean?
back.
Yeah, exactly.
Near the back.
Exactly. And then after I look at all that, then I might look at other stuff. But I mean, the toys had to be.
Maybe not.
Yeah, and then you have to read every little bit of the detail, what all the toy does.
Yeah.
You know, not near as much what they do now.
Yeah.
You know, now you have toys that are that do everything. Yeah,
Some of them freak me out how much they do.
Yeah.
I'm like, is that just a toy?
Yeah. There's some of them that are almost really like lifelike.
They're
that's
so
true.
realistic.
Yeah, true.
Artificial intelligence, AI, here's coming.
There we go. So mail order catalog day, National Bad Poetry Day. Have you read any bad poetry?
My own.
National Fajita Day. Ooh.
Oh my gosh, I love them.
I do too.
I love
Let's do that, okay?
Deliver made right, you know. The steak's not overdone or all just get it just right.
Oh, Dennis, now you said steak and fajita. Now you got me. Okay. Now that's going to be on my mind all morning, okay? Ooh, National Ice Cream Pie Day.
Oh my gosh.
Have mercy. After a fajita.
I just put on a couple pounds.
Yeah.
Thinking about that one.
All right, Never Give Up Day. I love that.
I never give up.
I really feel like you just should never give up. Just keep going. Always.
Keep going.
And no matter how hard it gets, you just gotta, it will pass. You know what I mean?
It will.
Yeah. Just never give up. Yeah.
No, just keep at it.
Just what makes that little ant think he can move that rubber tree plant? You don't know it, do you?
Oh man, I haven't heard that in years
Everyone
and years.
knows an ant can move a rubber tree plant because he has high. You don't know it?
No,
High
I
hopes.
need to look it up.
High hopes.
I'm gonna text myself right now so I can remember.
That was off of what's that Disney show?
Oh, hang on.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Yeah, Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins.
I love Mary
Mary
Poppins.
Poppins.
Go Dennis.
That's where all that went. Yeah.
Get up early. My goodness, if your brain power.
That's not what
earlier.
You get up.
Giddy up.
Giddy up. I'm very impressed with that. This is also Serendipity Day. Serendipity Day. All right. So Serendipity. Now remember the movie Serendipity? It's an older movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember the name. I don't remember what it's all about now.
This is also Admit You're Happy Month.
My happy month.
I don't know. Family Fun Month. There you go. Making eggs.
Yeah, Dennis hasn't saw that yet.
Yeah. Okay. There's some
But
egg
it's
making.
friendly, so you won't be surprised.
Oh, I love it. Let's see here. National Canning Month for all of those that are canning.
Yeah.
National Golf Month. National Napping Month. I know. Are you a nap taker? You get naps?
I do like them, but I don't really get them now.
Yeah. What about you, Dennis? Do you get a nap?
As I get older, I regress back to like my early childhood years as a kid. As a little baby, need an afternoon nap once in a while.
Yeah. My babysitter was huge on making sure we took naps, and I hated naps. You know what I mean? Because I'm in the middle of doing stuff. You know what I mean? I've still got things to do. You know.
Now we're like, I wish I would have
Yes, yes, yes. And I'll never forget my dad coming in, and I remember, like, she said, I'm trying to get Becky down for a nap, and I'd be like, I don't want to take a nap, I remember my dad saying, can you imagine the fireball? Yeah, the energy. I don't want to take a nap. I've got things to do. But I remember my dad saying, I would give anything to be able to, someone tell me today, you must take a nap. Yeah.
Even if it's 20-minute power nap.
Yeah. Well,
They do work. They do work. I started doing that.
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
Particularly if I'm going to be up,
Good
if we're going to be out late of an evening, about 3 o'clock.
And this is good stuff what he's talking, because even if you take a 15 or 20 minute, I don't do it, but I want to do it. I want to be that person. It's hard to get your mind though at first, isn't it? I mean, you kind of got to train.
You catch up with me on age and you'll figure it out. It's like, all right, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I've been going for 6 hours. I need to take a little break.
So like if you take like a 15 or 20 minute power, no, but if you can, I can't do it at this point, but I'm working. I want to
be more tired.
Well, they say it's really good for you,
It kind of will, but once you get going again, it's just like sleeping at night,
Yeah.
Once you get going, it helps break you up in the afternoon. Late
And there's
afternoon.
other countries that actually, like they do that. They take that afternoon, a little bit of a, I've not been there, but I've heard of this.
Some of those countries eat 6 times a day and don't eat a regular meal.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah. They snack all day long. That's all they do.
I like that.
Little bitty, just a little bit here and there all the
Crazy,
time.
yeah. That would work out
I
for
don't
children
remember
for
where,
sure, Yeah.
Well, they do that anyway now.
That's
My
true.
grandkids don't eat
They
meals.
eat
They
great,
eat snacks
yeah.
all day long.
So they don't actually have that supper time,
No.
family time. I would be sad about that.
Yeah.
I would want that.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Well, that's
But
different.
it's all hearsay. I haven't done it. But,
Isn't that funny how we stereotype, how we think other countries, and I wonder what they think we just sit with
They're
a,
probably like, geez, they eat that much 3 times
as a day.
Yeah.
And yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And all they see is with cheeseburgers and french fries and
Yeah.
pizza, right?
then what's wrong with that?
I know, and yes, we do. That's
Big
exactly right. Yeah, you can't beat a good burger fry, that's for sure. Well, it's definitely, it's funny to think about that, but I do think the power nap thing's a good thing, for sure. All right, let's see here. So if you're actually going back to school shopping, okay, for anybody going back to school shopping, most people have already got the school going, but still maybe you haven't had a chance, you're going to go back to school shopping. This is kind of a thing to do. You can, if you don't want to try your clothes on, or maybe you're starting a new job and you're wanting to try it on. Have you heard of the trick before? And there's actually, it's going viral on TikTok, which I was told, please stay off TikTok, honey. But you're supposed to tell if a pair of jeans will fit or not without trying them on. If they're zipped up and buttoned, just take the waistband and wrap it around your neck.
Well, I don't know about that.
It's not a new trick. There are lots of posts about it online, and even the Today show showed it, covered up a few years ago, and it went viral again. So the basic idea is that the average person's waist is twice the of your neck. So which might be true. So if your jeans from high school, it doesn't work for everyone though. So I guess so. You take your jeans and you fold them, put them around your neck, fold
Just
it.
imagining you in like folds, like choking
Choking myself with my jeans. Yeah, I would love to walk up. Would that not be a banner day if we walked up and we saw Dennis with a pair of jeans around his neck?
Hilarious.
That would be I couldn't get my camera out fast enough. I could not get my phone out fast enough. The rules of the thumb are don't stop. It says stop being lazy. Just try the pants on. Yeah. But when we were going through COVID though, remember they weren't allowing dressing rooms. So.
Oh yeah.
I think most people are doing back to dressing rooms.
I may have snuck in one or two.
Did you?
Just walk around and barricade.
You're such a rebel, Dennis.
Oh, I know. I'm a rebel.
I love that. All right, so those are a little bit if you are. I guess I am gonna go try it at home though. I'm gonna see. I'm not gonna do it out, right? Yeah. So.
Except Greg. Sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Post it on Facebook.
All right, and they're doing some new things at a gym. They're actually hypnotizing people to get them to want to work out. I think that's...
Somebody needs to hypnotize me, I guess.
You feel like you want to work out. I don't know about that. I think You know, hypnosis is something that is really could be a lot. You know, so you got to be very careful in doing that. I would think. You know, I
Just don't
know.
make me want to work out too much.
Yeah.
So you gotta be
Where's
willing.
Miss at? She's at the gym.
So you gotta be willing to concentrate enough, be hypnotized, so you can work out. Why
Yeah.
can't you just concentrate enough to work out?
There you go. Go,
I mean, it's
Dennis.
like-
There we go.
Listen,
Doesn't make
Dennis,
sense.
maybe
Look.
it's not that easy.
Life according to Dennis. Okay, just make yourself want to do it. Right?
Yeah, he's so practical. If you're gonna think about that, then just think about
About
it.
doing
do
it. Do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. That's right. Never give up. We just learned that.
Never give up.
give up. Never give up. And that's the thing too about it. If you get off where you're not actually doing the exercise, get back on the wagon. Get back up on the horse. Right?
Step on the horse, yes.
Yeah. Don't get discouraged. You can do it. You got this. So anyway, I thought those were good food for thought.
Yep.
All right, let's see. Celebrity Home Loans. You guys are rocking it and very busy. I know a lot going on in this time of year, and we are in August. Isn't that crazy? Almost towards the end of August.
Oh, I know already. I mean, August is
Well,
the 8th
take a deep
month.
breath.
We're pushing 2/3 of the year gone.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
to think? What in the world?
It's flying by.
Oh,
The older you get, the faster it flies.
It does.
I just seems like
It
it's
goes
just
by
like
so
no
fast.
time.
It
Yes.
does. It does. And we were talking about we have kind of do a recap of the past few weeks. We kind of talked about, what's been happening from the beginning of the year till now, because there's big changes that have happened. A lot of things have changed. A lot of things that are out there in the news that have not been, it's kind of been scare tactics, which we decided that we really want to bust those and not want people to not have that over their head. And we were talking about some of the things that are going on right now as far as inflation and learning the word. Dennis, I felt like Sesame Street. Dennis he had the word inflation. We're going to be talking about
your vocabulary.
inflation. Yeah.
So those of you that missed it or whatever last week or recap, so inflation is basically a situation where you get into a scenario that you start giving raises. Like right now, supplies are short. There's a high demand for it. Manpower is short, so companies are robbing employees, giving them bigger raises. So their cost of making the products go up, So in order to meet everything, then the products go up. Then as the products go up, then your dollar doesn't go as far. So then you demand more money from your employer to cover it. It's just a vicious cycle. And
I have
it
never
is.
seen so many incentives. I've never seen like signing on bonuses. I know there's even restaurants that pay that day.
Oh yeah.
You work, you get paid. Yeah.
Oh wow, I hadn't seen that one
Yeah,
yet. That's
yeah.
new.
Yeah. Because they're needing someone, people, because a lot of times, people don't come back.
Right.
So it's like if you work that day, you get paid that day.
Right.
Yeah. So
Which is unheard of. I mean, it's
That's
shocking.
causing a lot of probably behind the scenes for processing, like payment processing companies. That's costing them a lot.
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, history repeats itself. So if you go back to the late '60s, early '70s, I can remember back then the unions were really strong. The automotive industry, the big three, was really the major in the U.S. and they were giving out big raises. There was a lot of strikes giving out big raises, and they were raising the price of vehicles there in the early '70s because they could. It worked out easy. But you got to the point that inflation started kicking in, that domino effect, and it got running away with itself. So then the Fed started raising their rates, which, that's another domino effect. They don't set mortgage rates, they don't set loan rates, but this is the overnight bank rate for the banks. And then the cost of doing business, everything starts running, and the cost of everything goes up. And the way they slowed it up back then was push the overnight rate at the banks, which caused the rest of the rates to go up, and we saw double-digit interest. I've seen as high as 18-19% for cars, trucks, miscellaneous. Houses were 14-15%. But what it done is it made stuff so expensive that people didn't have enough money, and the supply shelves got full, and they quit buying. And then there wasn't such a demand. So then the employers quit paying the raises because then they were starting to lay some people off, or they were cutting the hours or whatever. So it was a reverse domino effect to slow everything down. And that's what we're going to see now. It's not. I hear all these people panic, and it's like, it's not the atomic bomb going to go off one day. That's not going to happen.
Right.
This thing happened. It started several years ago. And I think because of the lack of the Feds doing anything, everybody was afraid to slow the economy back. But you've got to be proactive about everything. If they would have, it's my opinion. It's just strictly my opinion. It's not scientific. It's just what I grew through and I've seen over life. If they would have reacted 2 years ago and changed these rates and started slowing stuff down, because COVID caused the, that was your bomb.
Yeah.
COVID was your bomb.
Right.
Because everybody got off work, they kept using stuff, the supplies got disappeared, and that started, they got that domino effect rolling faster than what the economy was doing.
Yeah.
So coming up today, that's kind of what's happened. Now, what I'm starting to see.
Now.
I like that.
Now. Well, there was a panic, a lot of panic.
There still is.
And that was sad. I mean, and I'm not, and they went from, like, they like you said, they jumped.
Yeah.
Instead of a little gradual,
So in June, they raised it 3/4 of a point, and the stock market went crazy, and they had dropped, and the bottom fell out of it for a while, Mortgage rates jumped way up. It was a knee-jerk reaction again, And so then by the time July come around, they were talking about it again. Rates had backed off a little bit. The market had come back a little bit. Things kind of mellowed out. And the finance world was ready for the next one. So when the next one come out, actually that day rates eased up a little bit. It's just done the opposite of what it done the month before. So you're seeing a lot of that stuff. What I'm starting to see is some products and some businesses are starting to slow down. Their products and all are starting to back up. Some of your labor-intensive businesses, their volume slowing down. So you're starting to see some of this stuff happen. So get ready. Your overtime's going to go away. You may actually, it could actually slow down enough that it asks for you to take a cut in pay or a cut in hours.
Well,
That's going to happen. It's
but
just
won't that be horrible? Because, it's harder to take something away than it is to give it.
Well, I know one industry has already done it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I'm not.
It was either lose your job or take a cut in pay.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's the whole industry.
Yeah.
And a lot of the companies are laying off hundreds and hundreds now.
But that makes it difficult. Then once they've had it, right? I'm not saying it shouldn't happen. To keep the doors open. I'm just saying it makes it difficult.
It does. It makes it difficult.
You're used to having ice cream every day, and then right?
And then you can't have that ice cream.
And then I want my ice cream. Right?
Yeah.
Well, then you go from having.
I'm talking Bridley.
So you just go from having the best ice cream there is to the ice cream milk at the cheapest. You just go to the other end of the freezer. You go from the $10 a gallon to the $3 a gallon.
Yeah.
Drink your reserve coffee.
That's exactly right.
But it's nothing to panic over. It's happened many, many times before.
And also to make sure you have ice cream.
Yeah.
You might not get it every day, but to make sure when special occasions you have ice cream. It's like one of the things to keep a job.
Well, and that's just it.
And it's everybody working together.
Exactly. And that's what you've got to do. And so then the next thing I hear is, we're going to have this big crash. What's going to cause the crash? There is no crash. It's just going to slow down.
Okay.
They may think it's a crash or may feel like a crash. It's just
what they're used to.
Right. It's not 2008. It's not an overabundance of houses and then people walking away from them. You're not going to see the prices drop on. You're not going to see the bottom fall out of anything. It's just going to slow up. It's just like the automotive industry. And that's a real good example. So right now they don't have anything in their lots. They're trying to build up. This thing's going to slow up. People are going to quit buying. So all of a sudden these lots are going to fill back up. And you think they're going to lower the price of the cars? No. There might be some new gimmicks to sell them and stuff trade around, but their workforce has probably already been. Let's just take their workforce got enough raises that equal 20% of what they got 2 years ago, 20% more. So they're paying their employees 120% of what they were paying them 2 years ago. So the cost of that car is up 20%. They can't lower it because they got too much money in it. And all products are going to do that. So it's going to take it a time to mellow out until wages and everything, and people start paying some debt off and get caught back up. It's just a tough. So don't go running your debt up. Don't go running your charge cards up. It's not time to do it. You know, there's other avenues, but the best is just start cutting back and start saving and start paying stuff off and be prepared for it, right?
And worst case scenario, let's just you do this. Let's say that it doesn't. You've still got things paid off.
Exactly.
I mean, what
That's
possibly is
everything.
wrong with this? You know,
Exactly. I had a customer yesterday call me that wanted to buy a house, and he came into my office a couple 2 or 3 months ago, maybe 2 months ago, and we sat down. I pulled his credit report up, and we were talking. It's like, you're a little heavy here, a little heavy there. You need to take care of this, and take care of that, and because what he wanted to, he wasn't ready to buy. He was in a model in the process, so he wanted to know how to get ready for it and where he should be.
Which is the best thing to do.
Which is the best thing.
It's seriously so helpful when people actually do that.
Yeah.
when they actually just come in.
They're like, hey, I'm thinking in the next 6 months or whatever. That gives us time to give you advice to get you exactly where you need to be when you're doing your work.
Love that.
Yeah,
yes,
I do too. Like, seriously, game changer.
Oh, it is, because you had a couple of cards
Proactive.
a little bit high, and a couple other things that just need taken care of. And yeah, it makes it a different. When you do all of that, it takes the. You're not pushing up your limit. You're not beating against your limit. You're giving yourself some breathing room.
And you're not causing the potential hiccups that we could run into. It just makes for smoother sailing.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he called me yesterday afternoon, and he says, "Hey," he says, "I've been talking to my uncle." He said, "What would the payment be on a 15-year note instead of a 30-year note?" I'm like, "Wow, you listen to your uncle, because I know his uncle."
Yeah.
It's like, that's the best thing I've heard you say.
Oh, I love that.
He goes, "Well, it makes sense. I'll pay less I'll pay less interest." Yeah, you'll pay less interest, and you'll pay it off in half the time. And it's really only a couple, $200 or $300 a month difference.
Right.
So he's thinking, in his early 20s, how am I going to get this house bought, get it paid off, get prepared to buy it? I mean, everything. And he's not even backing off of even buying one. Okay, yeah, interest rates are up. He's going to buy the house. It's not going to depreciate. So, it's thinking ahead, planning ahead, and keep right on going.
Right. Which I love. And I think, okay, let's just put a little side note here. This is going to be your biggest investment of your whole life when you're buying a house.
Most people, it's the most expensive thing they buy in their life.
So why would you not take 6 months prior to it or several months before to do the research,
build up to that,
to figure out, instead of doing it on the fly. Just walking in, I want to buy a house.
I want to buy a house.
instead of,
I mean, why would you not want to take that time, right? I mean,
yeah.
to...
Well, and, like, don't get me wrong, every, like, multiple, like, people would normally buy, like, multiple houses, but I feel like, especially if you're, like, a first-time home buyer or you're a renter getting back into being a buyer, it is very important to take that extra time to nurture the process and make sure you're going in correctly.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean? Because
yeah.
whether you're getting the payment where you want it or you're starting out with X amount of equity or whatever, like, that's going to ultimately affect, if you sell that home and then you make so much off of it or whatever, 10, 12 years down the road, that affects your next buying process as well. So it's never a bad idea to just proactively think about it.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that protects you. I mean, right?
It does. So I'm gonna give you another scenario. So look at it this way. If you make $1,000, I'm gonna use easy round numbers.
Okay.
$1,000 a week. You make $1,000 a week.
Okay.
You bring home $1,000 and you make it. And you've got some charge cards. And you buy a house. So probably the only thing you're paying on the principal is going to be the house. And you do 30 years, most of what the payment is going to be interest. So if you take your car loans, your charge cards, and your house and everything, your debt, and you're paying, let's say 50% of what you make, you're paying out in payments. So that's $2,000. Now, how much are you actually putting in are paying down a sub-Jeep that will make you money, and it may be $200 a month out of that $1,800 or $2,000. So you're spending $1,800 on interest that's just going poof. And that's the problem with our economy. You know, we push the charge cards and all the other stuff, and when you look at it, they're set up not to pay off for 15, 20 years. It's all interest.
Yeah.
You make a $300 payment, and $290 of it's interest, and 10 of it's on the principal. You know, how many McDonald's did you buy with that money, and then you're paying, you're taking that McDonald's you went or that steakhouse you went to, and you're paying on for 20 years. So that $30 bill you just paid, or that you put on your card, when you get done, it's $100
Or more.
or more. And
Yeah.
that's what people don't realize.
Yeah.
You know, that's why we,
Those
you know,
impulse buys.
them
Yeah.
you know,
Those are your mortgage payments. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like,
yeah.
if
yeah, you,
someone goes to Clarksville and they stop at 2 to 3 stores and end up putting 200 or more on there just for, you know, a night out shopping or whatever, interest, and if you don't pay it off, then yeah, it catches up to you.
yeah, you got to learn to manage your money, and you know, the easiest way to do it is put the cash in your pocket when you go out. Say, I'm spending this much tonight, I'm not spending any more, and leave your charge cards at home. When you're out of money, you go home. You just go home.
It's closing time.
You know, it's one way to
I do know
control
that
it.
song.
Okay.
Are you proud of me?
I'm very proud of you. Very proud of you. Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, it's coming, and we're starting to see the effects. So, yeah, things are going to slow down. The inflation's here. It's, you know, it's been here for a while. I mean, it's really been here for a while. Probably,
Yeah.
it started with COVID.
Yeah.
That's when it really started running with itself. So,
Right.
And house prices, you know, somebody the other day said, "Oh, these prices are ridiculous." You know, it's like, well, you know, if you go back and you know history again, so at the crash, 2008, 2009, yeah, they dropped about 20%. Some of them even more, and they haven't went up much until we started seeing them going up about 2013, 2014, and then they really got ridiculous the last 2 years. But really, if you'd have took the price of that home in 2008 and you had a 4% interest compounded yearly, gradually over that time frame, the houses are about where they should be, or they would have been without the crash.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that they've made a big jump. They played catch up.
Yeah.
Because for so long it was kind of like slow pond water. So
Yeah.
then, but yeah, if you do look at it that way.
So
Well, that's interesting, and I that's very good food for thought because it's kind of like a shock now.
it is.
Yeah.
Because
It
you know it wasn't like you said, I guess, like okay, like if you sit in bath water and all of a sudden it starts getting warmer gradually, you don't notice it.
You don't notice it.
But then whenever it's like all of a sudden
You run your bath and then you put your foot in.
Yeah.
And you've not
Like-
been used to it.
Used to it,
And
it's
it's
like,
oh,
hot.
hot. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So-
it's, you know, the economy's changing, and it's here. It's going to happen. It's not going to be like an atomic bomb. It's not going to go boom tomorrow,
Right.
and everything's going to change. It's just going to happen over time.
Right. And as far as somebody that's possibly, you know, that wanting to buy their first home or looking and, you know, just maybe are in a situation, to come and talk to you and to find out about how to get the best interest rate.
How to get-
And there's different loans, right? That,
Oh, there's hundreds of loans. In fact, the way they're coming out of the woodwork right now, there's so many it's not even
there's
funny.
new loans?
Oh, all the time. There's new
Yeah.
options.
Oh, wow.
I can't keep up with them.
Oh,
We
wow.
picked up a new product the other day, hobby farmer loan. So it's somebody.
I'm excited about that one.
Wait, this is
Especially
cute.
here,
Tell-
yeah.
Hobby farmer loan. I love
Yeah.
this. Tell me about it.
So it's somebody that works in a factory or a store, you know, has a regular job, and they want to buy 15, 20, 30, they come up to 150, 60 acres, and want to raise a few cattle or a few horses or sheep, and just piddle, you know.
But it's side income, not their main income.
Yeah. Then we can get them a loan for it now. And that's been a product that's been gone for years and years, but it's come back. It's come back.
Getting creative. So that's a good thing. I mean, even in tough scenarios, like the industry will always get creative in order to form to the customer's needs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
that's-
neat.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can buy a small place now, which you couldn't have a few years ago. I mean, any conventional Fannie Freddie, any of that stuff, they shun against that. If there's an F schedule, farm schedule in your taxes, like, oh no, oh my gosh, that's terrible. Well, it's kind of gone away.
Yeah, there we go. Now it's not so bad.
It's
Yeah.
not so bad.
Yeah.
They need loans.
Yeah.
They need loans. So,
Yeah.
so the industry is needing business like any other industry.
Uh-huh.
So they come up with new ideas, new products, new scenarios, juggle it around, and they become, they're willing to take a bigger risk.
Yeah.
Is what's happening.
So
The
this is
flexibility continues because, like you said, there's a need.
uh-huh.
But it's not even just the industry's need. They know that there's a customer need, and it's just a cause and effect type thing.
right.
In order to form to the customer's needs, then they have to become flexible.
Right. And I guess, like, here's what I want to say, though. What I respect and what I love is the expertise that Celebrity Home Loans has to help with that. Because when an individual walks in your door and starts telling you their needs, and you kind of look at their paperwork or whatever, then you have to kind of figure out which loan would be the best for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's times their wants and their needs doesn't fit into anything that we have. And if that happens, I mean, we're going to straight tell you, say, hey, Bank ABC down the road, we know their products. That is something they had. You need to go see so-and-so down there and tell him I sent you, and this is what you need. This is what you're looking
I
for.
had that yesterday.
I love that.
A girl had called me, and she used a construction loan to move a manufactured home onto her property, her acreage that she had.
Okay.
Well, because the manufactured home had been moved, we could not do anything. But we do know that portfolio banks do that, so we gave her 3 to 4 references and said, we know that they can do this. Tell them your scenario. Tell them how you got to this scenario, and go from there. Like, you're not stuck. It doesn't mean that you can't get
Right.
financing, but it's not going to be as easy as if you're just going and buying a home that's never been built, just
Right.
because of the situation. So
Very
We
interesting.
try to keep a good relationship with the local banks.
Yeah.
Because there's times we can help their customers. There's times they can help our customers, and we
Exactly.
share that information.
well, another lender actually sent me that person. She couldn't help her, so she sent her the main thing.
I love that. Yeah, but
I
at least
couldn't help her,
yeah.
but again, give her 3 to 4 resources. So it's not like we were just pawning her off, but with that
No.
situation, it's tough, especially if the manufactured home has been moved. I mean, at times it seems impossible, but there are resources and people that can do it.
We discussed that. Remember, there's a lot of different options on that. But
Yeah, and the thing is, so like to help kind of clarify some of that. So most of our business are funds that are bundled up in mortgage-backed securities, MBSs, and they're sold on the open market. Now every lender does them. Almost every bank does them. But that's where 90% all the loans go to. The bank doesn't get that interest. There's an investor, and it's usually a 401k investor or an IRA investor. Your insurance companies, your big investment firms, your financial advisors. They help recommend where to put your retirement funds. So in essence, you may be paying interest on your house on that loan, and your retirement funds may be getting that money back on the backside. That's a very good possibility.
Yeah, especially another way to look at that too is like whenever I first started and I was getting used to this side of things, Dennis was like, yeah, interest rates were 2 and 3%, but what did your retirement fund do? Because that's when people were losing money in their retirement funds because the investors weren't doing as good in MBSs.
And that's why
so it's all correlated.
I will tell you, 6 to 8% is a good market. Then you make some money off of your 401k funds. Because they're making money. I mean, it costs it. Your big banks, Wells Fargo, Chase, all those. You hear how many billions that they're worth, and a lot of or trillions, and a lot of that they're big into servicing loans, and there's a lot of companies that are in service. And when they service a loan, what that says is they issue the bill, they collect the payment, they pay the taxes and insurance, and they pay whoever has that mortgage and it's in that bond. They make sure they get paid their money and their interest. They get paid a 0.25% a year. And when you got 1 million customers at a quarter, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's where they're making all their money. And that's where the bank makes it. But that's only a 1/4% if you're paying 6%. So the investors are getting it, and then they have their overhead, and they have their profit, and then the rest of it goes pay back to your 401k or your IRA or whatever you're invested in. So yeah, it comes back in on the backside, but the rate's got to be high enough that there's something to come back. And that's what people don't realize, you know. But with that being said, when you take what we call a portfolio bank, we have several up here in the county, and they're little local community banks, you know. And some of them do like we do. They sell on the secondary. They don't service them. And a couple of them can. If they got to have, I forget, it was like 500 or 500,000 customers before they can service it. There's a number, and I forget this. But anyway, so if you've got a savings account at the bank or a CD, you know, they got to make money off of your money so they can pay you. And those have been almost zero, maybe a 1/4 point is all they're paying, because they're loaning your money out at 2, 3, 4%. There's nothing for them to originate, you know, to work off of. So that's where they end up, and most of that money that you put in there goes out for car loans, personal loans, that pay a little higher. What?
I was just thinking about this one time. This lady came into the bank I worked at, and she was so mad at me that I would not give her a special CD rate. And I'm like, I've never known of a 5% CD rate.
Not in years.
Like, and she was so mad at me. Like,
yeah.
I just had PTSD.
You had a moment.
That's okay. But
It'll
those,
be okay. No.
but then portfolio banks, you know, they can take those savings accounts and they can loan them out, so they can do some of that stuff that's not in the normal channel of what's being done out there and product that's available.
Yeah.
So they can take a really nice customer that's got some oddball scenario
Yeah.
that they really know is a good customer, and they can do some things that we can't even think about.
Yeah.
And that's why we keep those relationships,
I love that.
you know, so they can do that. And some of them have got a little tighter on their credit, so some of their customers are a little more challenging. They'll send over to us because we can do the challenging stuff. It's a little more challenging. So, or like now we got this new hobby farm loan, which should be a pretty good
I
scenario.
love this. Yeah,
You
I
know,
think
reverse
this is great.
mortgages.
I think especially for this area, like
Oh, it's
so many
perfect.
people like have.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is like perfect for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too.
I
I'm
love it.
excited about it.
So it's important for us to keep those relationships with the local banks,
Yeah.
and vice versa.
Right, absolutely. Well, and everybody working together, helping everybody out, you know, and it always comes back, you know, I mean, it
Yeah,
always comes back to
absolutely.
help, I mean, you know, each other. But do you ever, okay, so behind the scenes, if someone walks in and they start talking to you and they're telling you, you know, what their needs are, and you kind of look at everything, is there like one loan that you're thinking, but then by the end, you've come up with a different loan thought?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what would be, what I see, this is where I think I want to really stress the expertise of Celebrity Home Loans and you three powerhouses, because I think that's so important to get that right loan, because I'm sure there's people out there that have got a loan, but there might have been a better loan that could have been more suitable for them.
Well, I'll just use a situation I had a couple weeks ago where the customer, you know, they had the money to put down over 20%. They had well over that. And they just thought, well, we'll obviously go conventional. Well, he was in the military, so really we asked for the appropriate paperwork and stuff to see what his certificate of eligibility would be for to go VA. And we're going to weigh the options. Like, it might end up being he'd be better to go conventional, but it might be better that he goes VA. And so we'll do the extra work to see what's going to be different. Like, not only is your payment going to be $50 less each month, but what's your insurance going to look like? Just all things considered.
I love
And
that.
put it all out on the table
Yeah,
for him to ultimately
exactly.
choose, but you do have options.
Yeah, I love that, and I think that's, and I'm sure that they were over the moon when you caught that. I mean, like, to help them out, you know, what I mean, like that. I
Yeah,
would be
they were
so
just-
happy
yeah.
that, you know, because if I walked in and I thought, you know, and what a blessing, and you know, thank you for their service that they
Yeah,
have that,
yeah.
you know, and those little, and I think sometimes a lot of times that stuff gets where you don't realize that.
Yeah, well, you do, and like it's normal. Like, if you know, everyone's like USDA, then it's 100% financing. FHA, you have 3.5% down, and then conventional, everyone thinks is just 20%. So whenever this person was saving for what they thought would be their purchase amount, they were thinking 20%, and it doesn't have to be 20%. But
No,
that's just that. I think that's like the stigma stuck with conventional.
It is. And a lot of banks just do conventional portfolios, so they got their customers believing they could have 20% for all of them.
Yeah, any home
they
purchase, they think 20% down. So it's,
I kind of thought that.
yeah. So it's just a stigma. It really is a popular stigma
it is.
associated
Which-
with a purchase.
And it can detour a lot of people to think they can even purchase or
Yeah,
buy a
because
home.
Or even think that, yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, especially with home prices now, like going up and stuff. Then they're like, oh my gosh, well, what I thought I was getting close to my 20% down,
Yeah.
and now that's raised a lot because my price is raised or whatever. But no, it's not the case.
I love that.
You can buy down the rates so you can make the rates more competitive. I mean, there's a lot of, they're not tricks, there's just a lot of options
Yeah.
that we have that we can do and juggle things around to make it work. But at the same time, you got to be careful because you don't want to get hung up to where I'm going to make it work no matter what. Does at the end of the day, does the payment and everything really work for that customer, or do you kind of get too close to that line that you really don't want to step over because you're maximum everything out they've got? I don't like to see people do it. Some people insist on doing it, and they're going to get their little conversation from me. No, it's not a good idea. You know, you need a little breathing room, but at the end of the day, it's their choice. It's their choice.
Yeah.
I don't tell anybody this is what you have to do.
Yeah.
Now, there may be times that because of their scenario, there's only one product that'll fit it.
Yeah,
You
that's
know.
something too. And everybody, then in that case, I feel like they're asking us, well, why can't we go this route?
Yeah.
And then
Well,
all
because
it's
it doesn't work for you. You know,
Right,
and
sure,
like Dennis
sure.
said, we'll explain it, but at the end of the day, if we know it doesn't work, we can't make it work. Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
it's just what it is.
Yeah, but I love that. And Miss, I don't know. I know one time when Autumn was here, was talking about a lot of times they don't explain it. They just
Yeah.
tell you that,
they don't.
and that's where I like where you guys explain it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, I feel like when someone comes into Celebrity Home Loans, they're going to sit there, and this is going to be a good conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
It's
think
going to be
that's
a
like
two-way
the one.
conversation.
If you've been somewhere and you've had your credit pulled and they tell you got to fix your credit and just go get a couple of charge cards, and if you don't see an improvement from whatever they taught you within 6 to 8 months, you better be thinking twice about what they told you if you're following it.
Yeah.
And you need to call us because something's wrong. Something's not happening. Either you didn't understand it, or you're not following it, or you were just told wrong. You
Well,
know.
and I think that happens, I'm sure, more often than what we think, because we don't know all this. And you know, and the person who's walking in your door, honestly, does not really want to learn everything you guys know. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, we want to know what fits for us. We want to know, what's the best product for us. You know, but I don't think, honestly, to know about every loan and details that you guys know. You know what I mean?
Well, and I know I say this a lot, but I think the biggest thing with like a frustrated customer sometimes is not even that they're frustrated, they're intimidated by all the information and
Oh,
not understanding it.
absolutely.
And they feel vulnerable and all that.
Sure.
So it's, yeah.
Well,
I
absolutely.
think that's exactly what it is. So once they take the time, you take the time to explain it to them and not coming across arrogant or, it's just
Yeah.
fully informational. I think that goes the longest way.
Right. Well, or being, with Dennis and I've talked about this, applying for a loan and just getting told no.
Yeah.
And then never understanding or explaining.
I don't feel like I've been here since March, and I have never heard the other two just say no. I've never even heard them say no.
Where are you
It's
talking about
just
Dennis
and
and Autumn? Yeah.
I've never, not one of us have ever just said like, no, you can't have the loan. Like,
Right.
It's
Yeah.
always, well, we have a few things to work on,
Yeah.
and it's never no. I've never heard
But that's not always the norm
no.
at other places.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, some people it's just a phone call. Hey, I'm sorry, we can't do it.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
there's never, how do I fix,
Yeah.
what I like is, okay, so let's say the word yes is not going to happen today.
Right.
But how do you get me to that yes?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that road,
It's like,
that
all right,
road,
now we do have some things to work on,
that road
but-
to get there.
Yeah.
And that's what I really want, because I want people that want to do this and want a home, but have all these thoughts, I want them to understand this, you know, that to come in and to feel that comfortable sitting in the chair and going over everything.
Mhm.
I think that's, and I know that you guys love that. I mean, you love, I know that it's a personal, when you can help somebody like
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And if that is their ultimate goal, if they want to have the house and they want to buy a home, I mean, and to see them and see in our community, what a huge part of our community, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And anybody can own a home. Anybody can own a home. Now, there are certain things you got to do to get to there. But if you're willing to do it, we can give you the roadmap. Anybody can own a home that they want. You know, when I've got 100% products, and you don't have to bring $1. Well, I want you to pay for the appraisal for a couple $100. But if you can put $1,000 together, I can put you in a house. I can put you in a house. But you're going to have to do a few things. You're going to have decent credit. And I know you're on the school board, but I'm going to bang the schools a little bit again. You know, we don't teach it.
Like, are you?
Well, I'm gonna, you know, we don't teach budgeting too much in the schools anymore.
What did
They
you
don't-
talk about the other day? And you were like, you don't know this? And I'm like, no, Dennis, I don't. And don't make fun of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roman
What was
numerals.
that?
Roman
But
numerals.
Roman numerals, yeah.
And then we talked about home ec. He said that they used to learn
Yeah.
debt to income. And I'm like, no, we didn't.
But like credit, so I can't tell you how many times they come in and they say, I've been working on my credit and I can't get it up. And I can't get this or I can't get that. And the problem is, you know, or I've been working on my credit, I think I got it there, and I pull it up and it's like, oh my gosh. It's because people assume they know how credit works. And assume, you know what that word means. It makes a blank out of me and you. And 99% of the time, what they assume the way credit works is totally wrong. It's totally backwards. You know, and you know, we don't teach that in school. And it's one of the, you know, that's becoming so prevalent and so important in our life. And it's not going to go away. It's going to keep out there. It's going to change. It's evolving too. There's some changes. But it's very simple when you break it down into, you know, if you got a charge card and you got $1,000 limit on it, you don't want, but never more than 10% on that card. So that means that $1,000 card, you want to keep it under $100 all the time. If you want to grow a score, and you don't want it to go to zero because zero says it's a paid off account.
Yeah.
And if you just understand that, you can make all the difference in the world in your credit. But people think, oh, I got to pay it off. Well, that's like, so credit cards are lumped together with all your personal loans when it comes to doing the math equation. Of course, we're math now, but it's a calculation. And so once an account like your car or a home furniture loan or something like that or computer, once you pay it off and goes to zero, then that 50 or 100 points that it's giving you every month on your credit starts getting smaller and smaller and smaller because it goes away over time. It spreads out.
It does not no longer go against your repayment history.
Yeah.
Is why it goes away.
You know, there's several factors. So if your charge card's paid off, it treats it like a paid off personal loan because it knows no difference between revolving accounts and loans.
Yeah,
The
and
way it's
along
set up.
with that too, like whenever people are like saying like they want to get rid of their debt and stuff, that doesn't mean go and close your cards because those cards have worked for you for repayment history, like open since 2015. Well, that card and your repayment history is very important to your credit score as well. And so there's a lot of factors to it.
And if you pay a card off and you don't want to use it anymore, don't call them, don't cancel it.
Just leave it.
Leave it because in 6 months with no activity, it locks out anyway, and it doesn't show up on your credit report. So it still gives you credit. It still gives you credit against your score over a period of time. Now at the end of 7 years, it drops off. It no longer helps you. So there's a lot of little tricks we can help you
But
with.
having that open though, would that not be a sign to you that I have that card?
Yes. Okay, but it's a matter of, at the end of the day, how do you manage your credit? How do you manage your budget? So you can have $100,000 worth of credits in 3 or 4 cards and only have a couple thousand on it, and I can get you a $500,000 loan tomorrow. or $750,000 or $1 million homes, because you show over time that you can manage that $100,000 line of credit. Because when we look at it, we can see, we can pull up your history on that for the last 24, 36 months, and it shows that, you know, a couple of them you just put a couple hundred on this one, a couple hundred on that one, and you keep it paid down. It shows you can manage it. It's you know, at the end of the day, are you going to make the payment? If I loan you this money to buy a house, what's the likelihood you're going to pay me back? That's all it boils down to. Are you going to pay us back? We don't want the house back. We're not in the business of real estate.
Right.
We're in the business of loaning money. And when you go back and say, well, I give the bank back my car, or I give it back, you didn't give it back to them because they didn't sell it to you to start with. You know, you had a promissory note. You were going to borrow the money to buy it off of somebody else.
Yeah.
And you promised them to pay us back. That's really what it boils down to. Is proof that you have the ability to pay us back, and that you will. That's it. All breaks down to that simple.
Yeah.
And that's all we ask.
Yeah. Going back and follow through and being the person of your word.
Yes.
Yes.
Means everything in the world.
Those are. We learned that early in life, right?
Early in life, and it
coming back to the basic rules of yeah.
And if you come to my office,
Yeah.
and when I first started this business, you know, years and years ago, so I pulled this credit on this one customer one time, and I seen a couple of things on there, and I go, so I'm all puffed up, and I'm new into the business, and I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna help them understand what's going on and how to fix it, and I'm sitting there at the table with this couple, and I'm saying, well, you know, there's this one. What's the deal on this loan here, or on this collection here? Well, it's mine, and I'm not paying it. All right. So then I kind of pick up my eyebrows, and I go to the next one, same thing. And by the time I got to the third one, I was done, because I knew no matter what I said, this customer was going to take care of any of it, and it was a roadblock.
Yep.
And he admitted they were his bills. He didn't believe he owed them, and he wasn't paying them.
Ooh.
He wasn't going to deal with it. So I mean, you can't help somebody that's not going to
What
help
does that say
themselves.
to a mortgage company? Like, yeah, I know that's my
Yeah.
house and that's my mortgage payment, but I ain't
You're
paying it.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, that's
And,
not.
and don't walk in my office and say, well, that's all on there, and I'm not paying them. Well, the conversation's going to stop pretty quick, because you're in a situation that, you know, you can't help them if they're not going to help themselves.
Yeah.
We're not going to get through their full cup of
Yeah.
coffee.
Yeah.
You're going to say.
So there's times,
We
you know.
can't. Yeah.
And about once, and honestly,
We can't drink the rest of the coffee. That's right. We gotta go.
you know, no, it's an interesting world.
Well, there's a lot. So we're getting close on time. Time
Yeah.
always goes by so fast. But again, maybe next time we talk about some of the different loans. I know we've talked about it before, but there's new loans. This
Oh
is
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Love to hear that. What's it called again? The hobby farm.
Hobby farm.
Love that.
The hobby
That's
farm.
cute.
Yes, that is great.
That is cute. Very good.
And it's
And
up
very
to
apropos
160. In fact, when I was talking to the rep the other day, Monday, she says, "Oh yeah," said I closed one on 300 acres the other day. Said just because we posted we limited 160, bring the scenario to me. Let me look at it.
Oh, there you go.
So I mean, there's guidelines, but like on this one, they're not black and white in concrete. There's some flexibility. So there's a lot of flexibility and a lot of stuff right now in these projects.
I love that. Love that.
We gotta go.
Well, I know.
We're running over.
Let's thank our sponsors.
Okay, Coffee Club sponsors. Meadowview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, who's your Upland Celebrity Home Loans. We are an equal housing lender. You can visit the NMLSconsumeraccess.org website, and our NMLS number is 227765. Also, Dr. Black's Eye Associates and Fox Furley Wealth Management.
Okay. Thank you, Camissa. Thank you, Dennis.
Thank
Celebrity
you.
Home Loans. Go see them right here in Salem on the square. They are wonderful. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Remember when you had your birthday party at McDonald's, playing with your family and friends, enjoying cake and that one-of-a-kind McDonald's food and drink? If you're looking for a fun and safe place to have a party for your children or grandchildren, look no further. Party time is back at McDonald's right here in Salem, Mitchell, and West Baden. That's right, hosted birthday parties are back, baby. Call event coordinator Renee Lewis at 812-788-0126 to schedule your birthday for Salem, Mitchell, or West Baden today. The party includes food and drink for up to 10 guests, with your choice of white or chocolate cake ice cream for each child, a gift for the birthday boy or girl, goodie bags for each child, and a festive decorated party area. Parties at Salem allow children to play, while the McDonald's in Mitchell and West Baden will feature age-appropriate games. Let McDonald's make your child's next birthday party stress-free for you and fun for them. Call Renee at 812-788-0126 today and get your next party on the schedule at McDonald's.
Louder Than Life is back September 22nd through the 25th. 4 stages, over 90 bands with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Give it away, give it away, give it away. Nine Inch Nails. Slipknot. Yes. With Alice in Chains, Bring Me the Horizon, Shinedown, Rob Zombie, Alice Cooper, Incubus, Evanescence, Tenacious D, and many more. Go to louderthanlifefestival.com for all lineup and ticket information.
This is Melissa Jeremiah with Hoosier Uplands Home Health Care and Hospice. Our professionals are available at 812-849-4447 to answer any questions you have regarding home health care or hospice. The summer heat is upon us. When working outdoors, make sure and stay hydrated. Also check on your neighbors who are homebound. Consider donating a fan or window unit to those who are without. Our family at Hoosier Uplands wishes you a safe summer.
Big park, bigger fun, bigger smiles. Beach Bend Park. There's classic amusement rides for all ages. The famous Kentucky Rumbler roller coaster, daily shows, games, mini golf, and more. Soak up some sun and take the plunge in Splash Lagoon Water Park with wave pool, lazy river, interactive play area, and exhilarating water slide. Or relax in your own private cabana rental. Purchase tickets online and save on one-day admission. Or have twice the fun with a 2-day play pass for $49.99. Active, retired, and veteran armed forces always receive free admission with a valid, non-expired military ID and get a discount for accompanying family members. For bigger fun all summer long, come to Beach Bend Park, where the parking, tubes, and sunscreen are free. For park hours, to book a birthday party, purchase tickets, or a season pass, visit beachbend.com.
Louder Than Life is back September 22nd through the 25th. 4 stages, over 90 bands with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. 9 Inch Nails. Slipknot. Kiss. Louder Than Life, Louisville, Kentucky. Bigger and better than ever. With Alice in Chains, Bring Me the Horizon, Shinedown, Rob Zombie, Alice Cooper, Incubus, Evanescence, Hailstorm, Lamb of God, Papa Roach, Tenacious D, Rock, plus so many more. Roll. Louder Than Life. Rock and roll. Red Hot Chili Peppers, 9 Inch Nails, Slipknot, Kiss, Rob Zombie, Shinedown, and so many more. Go to louderthanlifefestival.com for all lineup and ticket information. See you in September at Louder Than Life.
Please leave a message at the beep.
Hey, it's fun. Remember me? Miss you, buddy. Look, I know it's been a minute, but we gotta get the fan back down to Holiday World and Splash and Safari. They've got 3 of the top 5 water coasters in the world. Remember getting soaked on Mammoth and Cheetah Chase? Or screaming down monster roller coasters like Thunderbird and Voyage? Tickets are still at holidayworld.com. Oh, the kids want to say something. Go ahead.
Have you ever thought you'd like to buy and sell houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? My name is Ron LeGrand, and over the past 40 years I've bought over 3,000 houses without using my money or credit and taught thousands to do the same. Today, even in a virtual environment, we buy nice houses in nice neighborhoods using no banks, realtors, contractors, or other costly entanglements, and build huge cash flow and wealth without the hassle of tenants, all without credit and little or no money. You don't need a license or experience, and I'll show you exactly how it's done. Text RON to 99799 and I'll send you my free training. I promise I'll change the way you think about real estate and open the door to a new lifestyle that doesn't involve risk or rehabs and can quickly replace your current.
Radio
Rick Burgess, Bill Bubba Bussett, Calvin Speedy Wilbur, The Real Ray Burgess, Helmsy, and Eddie Van Adler.
Sweet home Alabama to the world, it is the Rick and Bubba Show. Over 28 years bringing you a show about anything.